We are back on the Earl Parsons Project Savage Radio. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I could hear you just fine now.
Oh, my goodness. That was a technical difficulty. All my fault. Okay. Can't pronounce your name for me. Are you Garren or Garren?
It's pronounced Garren.
Garren. Okay. And you have no last name? You have just a single first name?
I have a last name that my mother uses for me, and that's about it these days.
Would your last name happen to be Underwood by any chance?
I can't say that it is.
You are from the La Galerie Sandwiche?
That's right. I have a gallery, an art gallery, fine art gallery called the Galerie Sandwiche. It's in Chelsea, a little neighborhood in Manhattan, New York, and we deal in sandwich art.
You also represent a group called Real Sandwich Artists Against Subway.
Well, that's why I'm here today. It's Real Sandwich Artists Against Subway, or R-SAAS. I'm founder and executive director. We are representing sandwich artists in a lawsuit against Subway Incorporated.
You're slowing down a little bit. Okay, well, what is some of the history? What is the nature of this lawsuit? Why are you suing Subway?
I'm sorry. Well, we're suing Subway on the grounds that their use of the term sandwich artist for their employee debases true sandwich art. So we're suing on the grounds, I guess legally, that Subway creates a chilling effect on sandwich art, thereby placing an undue burden on sandwich artists and the sandwich art industry.
So what is the distinction between the type of sandwich art you're talking about and what Subway calls their employees sandwich artists?
You see, Subway seems to be mistaking the term culinary artist that specializes in sandwich with sandwich artists. Now, what we sandwich art dealers and sandwich artists refer to as sandwich art is any fine art that focuses on sandwich as its primary subject, or it could be any work of fine art created by using a sandwich.
Okay. What's some of the history of sandwich art in Western civilization?
Well, surprisingly, it didn't start in Western civilization. We could go back a little further to Edo period Japan, and in Edo period Japan, it was a very fishing-based culture. So you'd have a lot of fishermen that would be out at sea, and they would make sandwiches that were so aesthetically pleasing that they wished to show their friends back on shore. But the problem was that these sandwiches would always be eaten by the time they got back. And so what they would do is they would cut the sandwich in half long ways. A very interesting practice unique to the Edo period in Japan. And what they would do is they dip a cross-section of that sandwich in an edible dye, and then they would press it against rice paper on a board, leaving a impression of the sandwich. This art form known as gyutaku. Nowadays, if you were lucky enough to find one, they go for about $1,000 per foot. So,
what are some of the most famous sandwich art masterpieces?
Well, so the thing is that there's been a lot of sandwich art that's been mistakenly called something else. For example, Picasso and Kandinsky created lots of fabulous works of sandwich art that were mistakenly classified as abstracts, when in reality they're just collages of sandwich ingredients. Monet has painted many sandwiches. It's just a little hard to tell because people usually stand too close. Cezanne and Pizarro.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by stand too close? Hello.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying that that Monet painted many sandwiches and people just can't tell.
Oh, I guess in those picnics there could be a couple sandwiches, like on the beach. Yeah.
Well, no. In the park, for example, Afternoon in the Park, George Seurat. There's many fine sandwiches in that. And coincidentally, George Seurat, he got the idea, the inspiration, rather, for pointillism. Legend has it when he spilled paint on his poppy seed roll. He was so angry that he threw it against the canvas and then noticed the pattern that the paint-covered poppy seeds had left.
Okay. So your main beef, if I'm getting this right, is that when Subway calling their employees sandwich artists denigrates or makes lesser the contributions of actual sandwich artists over centuries. Do I have this right?
Not only in an artistic way, but in an actual economic way. We feel it economically. I feel it as a sandwich art dealer, and all the other sandwich art dealers that our organization represents feel it as well. Sandwich artists are feeling it. Somebody goes and says they're a sandwich artist, somebody automatically assumes that they're a Subway employee, and we feel that that's not right.
But isn't they're making art? Can't the sandwich itself be an art? Isn't there an art in making a sandwich more so almost than drawing a sandwich that was made by someone else?
That's what goes back. It goes back to the beginning of this interview with what I said. Subway has mistaken the term culinary artist. It specializes in sandwiches with sandwich artist.
That's a little so. That's what you want their employees to be called now.
They don't have to call them that. They can call them sandwich smiths. They just shouldn't call themselves sandwich artists.
Okay. So what kind of compromise can be reached in this lawsuit?
Well, right now there's not too many. Excuse me, my attorney's telling me that there's certain details I can't discuss with what we're seeking right now at the time. But let's just put it this way, that Subway could change the names of their employees, or what they call their employees now, and it would be too late. It would be too little too late. So we're still seeking some sort of monetary compensation for our lost income.
Thank you very much, Garren. I will ask you one last question before we leave. A very hot topic. Is a hot dog a sandwich? You make it with a bun. It goes. Is it not a sandwich?
Okay, well, this has really caused quite a divide, and it's quite a polarizing subject in the sandwich art community. What happened was hot dogs came along quite a bit after sandwiches, okay? And so what ended up happening was at first sandwich artists embraced the hot dog as a new form of sandwich. By all means, it actually is a sandwich. It is an ingredient between two pieces of bread. But what ended up happening was hot dog art sort of spun off into its own scene altogether. And a lot of sandwich artists really feel that hot dog art took a lot of its patronage. We had a lot of patrons that were formerly some of sandwich art's biggest supporters. We had Richard Karn, we had Rob Reiner, we had Louis Anderson, and they all become hot dog men over the years, and it's just a real shame.
Thank you very much, Garren. You are an advocate for the group Real Sandwich Artists Against Subway and a curator at La Galerie Sandwich. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you, Earl. Nice talking to you.
Goodbye.